A massive thank you and appreciation to everyone that's joined, especially my partners from Heart of Selfcare. We couldn't do it without you. So tonight's going to be about energetic well-being. And the first partner, which I'm going to introduce, is Lakshmi from the 111 approach. Lakshmi, over to you.
Interesting, isn't it? That was just 1 minute and I didn't say anything. For some of you, that might have felt quite long and uncomfortable. For some of you, it might have felt quite calming. For some of you, be like, is there something wrong? Has she got her mic on? Has she frozen? So 1 minute can actually feel like forever when we're waiting for a train, or if you're heating something up in the microwave and you're hungry, that minute can feel like an eternity. But however, that same minute can feel like nothing when you're having fun with your friends, or let's face it, doom scrolling on social media. So time is relative. And in fact, when you think about it, that minute didn't change. Your experience of it did. So hi, everyone. My name is Lakshmi, aka the 1 Minute Healer. I'm the founder of the 111 approach, where we specialize in wellness for busy beings and companies all over the globe. I'm an intuitive energy healer and a wellness specialist with a bit of a twist. I have a science degree and I used to work in the medical field. I am a Usui Reiki master teacher, an angelic Reiki master teacher. I also blend quantum Reiki and 7 other styles of Reiki energy healing and intuitive psychic healing to help bring the woo-woo into companies, workplaces, and also for busy professionals. So I use science-based 1 minute wellness techniques that help to regulate your nervous system, to help retrain your brain. And I help people to understand that 1 minute can really shift your mindset and energy very, very quickly when you know what to do. And my energy healing is quite different from the traditional style of Reiki or other modalities, not knocking them at all. Like I said, I am a Usui Reiki master teacher myself. But what I try and do is blend everything together and bring a very consolidated but intense version for people who just don't have time for wellness. Because let's face it, we live in a world now where everything is fast paced. And so I say to people, these micro changes of just 1 minute wellness and just taking these intentional pauses can really help your energetic well-being. Now, research shows that stress actually alters your time perception. So when your brain is in a threat mode or it's constantly overstimulated, time can feel elongated because your amygdala is activated and your attention narrows. This is why so many of the next generation and even ourselves, we have developed attention deficit disorder, so ADHD. It's not our fault. The society and the world that we live in at the moment is designed to keep our attention span just on the go all the time. However, this is why it's so important to do something for your energetic well-being, for your mindset, and actually start to train your brain to start to relax again. So I hear it all the time from people. I'd love to meditate, I just don't know how, or I don't have the time. I'd love to do that, but I just don't have the time. So I help people who don't have the time make time in just 1 minute a day. So the 111 approach is all about taking one focus of your lifestyle that you want to change, and we take it 1 day at a time, and I help you with 1 minute practices alongside the powerful intuitive energy healing that I do. where traditionally most practitioners will take an hour. I can do it in 10 to 15 minutes and get the same results with lasting effect. So most people say they don't have a minute, when really they mean, I don't really know how to be in a minute. So that's what I help with. And so I would like to end my little stint, I think I'm coming up to that time now, to just do a 1 minute reset technique. So invite you all, if it is safe for you to do so, go ahead, close your eyes, keep your spine relatively straight, roll your shoulders back, take a deep breath in through your nose, hold for a few seconds, and then breathe out through your mouth, relaxing your jaw, dropping your shoulders, keeping your body still like a statue. Take your awareness to the top of your head and just notice how this part of your body is feeling at the moment. Bring your awareness down to your forehead, over your eyes, coming down your nose, over your mouth, gently down your neck, taking your focus now into your shoulders. Notice how they feel. Some people carry a lot of tension here. We're not trying to change anything, we're just observing, just noticing what our body is trying to tell us today. Just take one nice regulated breath in here. And as you come down, your focus goes down your arms, over your elbows, into your wrists and palms, to the tip of your fingers. Just observing and noticing and accepting what your body is trying to say to you today. Now bring your focus to your chest, coming down your abdomen into your pelvis, coming down both of your legs now over your thighs and knees, into your ankles and the tips of your toes. We're just going to bring our awareness back over the backs of our calves, backs of the knees, back of the thighs, round the backside, and take one deep breath at the base of your spine, releasing any tension you might have there. And just to finish off, coming up the spine, back of the shoulders, bringing your awareness all the way back to the top of your head. Just taking a moment to show some gratitude for this body of yours that keeps you alive and your energy every single day. Just take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, you can open your eyes. And that was literally a 1 minute energetic reset for your body and mind. So with that, I have left in the handout section a 1 minute self-care hack. So it's a little ebook of 1 minute self-care hacks you can do to really up level and shift your energy in a matter of 60 seconds. So that's me, Lakshmi from the 111 approach. Let me heal your mind 1 minute at a time. Sending you love, light, blessings.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Lakshmi. So myself and Emma actually work very closely with Lakshmi, and we've both experienced the magic that Lakshmi can have. So we highly recommend to follow the 111 approach and to download any handout. So anyone that's watching, guys, there are handouts on the handout folder on the top right of your screen. You'll see a little tab with a little paper sign. If you click that, there's handouts from us in regards to every speaker taking part today. And there's also handouts from Regenify Health, our platform sponsor as well. Now, I'd like to introduce Dr. Gauri Saha from Rebalance Now. Dr. Gauri is a medical doctor specializing in psychiatry and Ayurvedic lifestyle and nutrition. And yeah, I'll hand the floor to Dr. Gauri.
Thank you so much, Dane. And thank you, Lakshmi, for that 1 minute relaxation. I could have just gone on with that probably and not let my adrenaline come back. But yeah, so thanks for that, because it's all about tuning in to your body, right? And that is exactly what Ayurveda is all about. So If I were to ask all of you, what does energy mean to you? Uh, we could get varied answers. Uh, it could mean productivity, maybe it means vitality to somebody, maybe it means stamina to somebody else, right? But do we ask ourselves, how well is my energy being produced? So in Ayurveda, energy is what you build. It's measurable, it's metabolic. And where does it come from? As we all know, it comes from the food you digest, but Ayurveda goes a little further and says it's not just the food that we digest, it comes from the water that you drink, it could come from the emotions which you are consuming, right? So it's your digestive fire or the Agni which determines how strong you are, and that determines the energy that you get. Because ultimately, it's the food that you eat, and not just the food, mind you, it's how you eat, what you eat, when you eat, that determines how well or how poorly it's going to be transformed into nutrition, which then goes to all the 7 tissues in the body. And that finally translates into the immunity and energy that we all feel. So, which means, as we all know, if you have a great digestion, everything goes well, right? You're feeling good, your system is doing well, you're sleeping well, you're eating and drinking well. But if your digestion is sluggish, that's when we face all the issues, whether it's with your hair, whether it's your skin, whether it's just bloating, or whether it's just feeling lethargic and not sleeping well. So it all starts and ends with your digestive fire or Agni. It's almost something, like the boiler in your house, for example. So if the boiler is not doing its job well, okay, and if it's kind of run down, then no matter what you do to your heaters or radiators in the house, nothing, the house is not going to warm up, is it? Because the issue is with the boiler. So that's what Ayurveda says. It encourages us to go to the root cause of everything and not just treat things on the surface, which is why if your digestion is not optimal, then even the supplements you take will not be absorbed well and won't give you the best effects, right? So then we think about, what does energy mean in Ayurvedic parlance? So in Ayurveda, we have three flowing energies in the body, or three fundamental energies in the body. Okay. So the first one is called Vata, which some of you may have heard of, which is the principal energy of movement. The second one is called Pitta, which is the energy of transformation, which helps the entire transformation process in the body. And the third one is called Kapha, which is the energy of stability, strength, and immunity in the body. And by the way, why do all of us, especially sitting in this room, why do all of us need energy? It's very obvious, right? Because you cannot manifest abundance in your clients when your digestion is impaired or if your gut is inflamed, right? You cannot be holding space for your clients when your own nervous system is depleted. And you definitely cannot run a business when your adrenals are totally fatigued. So, how does Ayurveda explain all these three energies that I just mentioned to you? So, just to put it in short, when your Vata is functioning well, it means you have creativity, you have intuition, you are mobile, you're fresh, you're very flexible. But if your Vata is affected, that's when you become anxious, you're not going to sleep well, and your digestion is going to be all over the place. When the second energy of transformation is at its peak and optimum, you are very focused, you're energetic, you get things done, right? But if the same energy is affected, you're going to be irritable, you're going to be angry, you're going to be frustrated. And that's also going to affect your digestion in a different way. And with the third energy, which is the kapha or the stability, if your kapha is functioning well, then of course your mind is clear. You're very trustworthy, you're very approachable. But if the same kapha gets impaired, then you're going to be sluggish, you're going to be lethargic, not even wanting to get out of bed. So, how does Ayurveda help you here to keep your energies intact? Just like, say you need to go to a spa, for example, to just feel rejuvenated, Ayurveda says give yourself a daily spa. So, Ayurveda very clearly gives you guidelines, which is called as dinacharya or daily routines, where Ayurveda tells you to just pamper yourself. But it's not just about pampering, it's about giving you psychological benefits, immunological benefits by following certain rituals on a daily basis. So it could be simple things like having a morning ritual where you look at the morning light instead of the blue light, which most of us do. It's about simple things like eating warm, delicious, digestible meals, because you're not what you eat, but you're what you digest, right? So it goes on right up to your sleeping rituals or having a sleep hygiene. So, in this way, you're taking care of yourself on a daily basis rather than waiting for that day at the spa. So, the next time you think you want to upscale your brand, or the next time you're launching an offer, first stop and ask yourself, how is my digestion? How is my energy? And am I aligned with my body, mind, and soul? All the best. And thank you so much, Dane. And thanks all of you for listening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gowrie. That was a very informative talk and really appreciate that. Guys, we're running a bit ahead of schedule, partly because I started early. So apologies, we'll have the full recording. But now I'd like to introduce a friend of mine now, Dr. Surinder Sandhu from Beds Chiropractic Clinic. Dr. Sandhu is the most experienced chiropractor we've ever come across, and I'm very much looking forward to hearing what he's got to say. So let me get Surinder on.
Okay, hey, good evening, everyone. Okay, my name is Surinder Sandhu. I'm Doctor of Chiropractic. I've been a chiropractor for well over 27 years now, and seems like yesterday. And I still enjoy what I do, absolutely love it. And what I want to do today is I want to share sort of about energy and chiropractic, because regrettably, sort of people always think about chiropractic as cracking bones, and unfortunately YouTube has really sort of given that a lot of credence, in the sense that millions and millions of views on people sort of having their necks cracked or their backs cracked. Well, chiropractic, what I want to try and explain to you in this sort of short talk is that it's much more than that. And it's much more than that, because if you actually look at sort of the quantum sort of energy and look at sort of the biophysics of sort of what's actually happening, you'll understand that there is a lot of sort of energy involved in this. And that the origins of chiropractic was started sort of in 1895, and the founder of chiropractic, Daniel David Lewis, was actually an energy healer, and it was from that perspective that he actually started chiropractic. Because what he found that when he sort of did what is termed now an adjustment, sort of on the spine, he found that the energy within the body flowed much easier. So we use sort of medical language, and we say that what we're doing here is we're actually influencing the neuromusculoskeletal system and the way that the brain and the body communicate. And if we use energetic language, we'd say I'm working with life force, bioelectric current, or chi. because it's all able to move through the body's wiring. Now, this diagram, hopefully you can all see that, right? So very simply, we have sort of this power station, which is here in the brain. The brain sort of comes down, and it comes down all the way into the body, to your fingertips, down to your feet. And that's sort of the sciatic nerve all the way down here, and that's the brachial nerve sort of running down your fingers. Now, this system here is 12 miles long, and it's a wiring system through which the energy actually flows. And these 34 pillars, which are the skeletal system, like the vertebra, are basically just what I term, when I try to explain it to patients, is like, are like fuse boxes. And those fuse boxes, when they get jammed, when they get sort of locked up, when they don't move as they should do, as they're designed to, then what happens is that this wiring system can become impeded. And when the wiring system becomes impeded, then there's a problem. And each one of those wires consists of 3 little wires. So each wire has 3 bits to it, like an earth, like a sort of a, sort of a wiring normally has sort of earth, neutral, and live. So what we have here is we have sort of 70% of the actual sort of wire is to do with the autonomic system, and that's to do with actually sort of keeping you alive, keeping your physiology working. You have 20%, which is your motor nerve, which is basically your muscle system working. And then you have 10%, which is the pain bit. So what that means is that a nerve can have a lot of pressure sort of in that area. By pressure, I mean inflammation, where the joint is not moving very well, before pain is what you feel. Pain is generally the last thing the body gives you, because the body is very kind to us and it'll keep going. But for example, if the autonomic nervous system, right, is not working well, then what happens is that you can get things like sinus allergies. Let me go hold it there. Sinus allergies. You can get digestive problems. You can get breathing problems. And if the muscles aren't working, then you get spasms, you can get fatigue, you can get tightness. And it's only when the nerve gets really impeded that you actually get what we term as pain, which is when most people recognize that there's a problem. So it is important to appreciate that sort of what is a chiropractor actually doing? Well, yes, we're moving a joint, but by moving a joint, what we're actually doing is we're actually sort of influencing the body's ability to be able to communicate through that wiring system, that 12 miles of electrical wires, the nervous system, which sort of goes out to 37 trillion cells and actually makes those organs, those muscles, those tissues fire properly. There is sort of in physics, there is a term called biofield tissue tensegatory matrix. Now, what does that mean? What that means is that sort of our connective tissue, our bones are made of sort of a matrix, a crystal structure. And when that crystal structure has a low amplitude, high velocity force, which is what a chiropractic adjustment is. It's very, very fast, but it's very, very, the depth is very short. It's just the speed of the actual adjustment. And it has to be at a particular angle, which is the angle of the joint movement. When you do that, and you do that with the right amplitude, right, and the right velocity, you get a movement. And that movement in that connective tissue then creates an electric signal. And that electric signal will cause that crystal structure to become more fluid, and it creates an electric current. That electric current is called a piezo current, And that's like sort of if you have a cigarette lighter, if you sort of flick it, what you're doing is you're using sort of that friction, that connective sort of movement on the sort of the wheel to create a movement, a current. And that's similar to what a chiropractic adjustment is doing. Chiropractic adjustment is creating at the right amplitude, done in the right way, is creating an energy flow, which then creates the body's ability to be able to transition and to move that current through the body. So it's more than just a crack. So a simple analogy is, imagine a dim light in the room. You can change the bulb, you can clean the lamp, you can repaint the walls. But if there's a kink or a poor connection in the wiring, the energy doesn't reach the bulb properly. And this is very similar to a muscle. And when a muscle is tested, and say the muscle is weak, because that's one of the things that I do, is I muscle test before and after my adjustment to make sure that what I've actually done has actually facilitated an improvement. So when you test the muscle and the muscle is weak, it's not working properly, it isn't because the person hasn't been to the gym, right? It's because the muscle is not getting the message from the brain, because the brain is what tells the muscle to contract or relax. So if that system somewhere in its pathway is not working, there's a kink, a crude example, a kink in that wire, then the muscle is not going to activate. So you can sort of go and train that muscle to death. But what will happen is that the other muscles that are compensating, right, so that you can carry on moving your body, because compensation is something that we are all doing every single day of our life. We are able to do the things we do, not always because we're functioning at 100%, but because we are compensating really, really well. In the sense that we've got sort of, for example, if our sort of hip flexor isn't working, then what will happen is our back muscles, our QL, right, will work, our rectus spinae will work better. So, and because they're working more, you're going to end up with back pain. And that is one of the biggest findings that I find with people with back pain, is that normally their hip flexors, the psoas muscle, is tight. And the compensation pattern that they've developed, because they don't realize their hip flexor is tight, is then creating sort of a reaction in the muscle at the back, which is creating the back pain. So by releasing that tension out of the psoas, by releasing the tension out of the lumbar spine, the facet joints, you can get that psoas to relax. And that is why sort of massage is great. But if you can work as a masseuse with a muscle that's already relaxed, then you're going to get a much, much better result. Because by working on a muscle that's more relaxed, you're going to be able to sort of get much more out of it in the sense of sort of movement and flexibility. Now, muscle testing is something that I use a lot, just purely because I want to test sort of what is happening before and after. Okay, let's see. So for massage therapists, you'll find that when global softening in a tissue after an adjustment, right, you'll be able to do much, much more. The fascia becomes more pliable, right? The circulation improves, and the body is able to work better. So as a massage therapist, you would benefit from somebody potentially having a chiropractic adjustment alongside what you're doing, because you're going to be able to work sort of with the muscle much better, because energetically the muscle is much more relaxed. For nutritionists, you know that healing is ultimately about how well the body can digest, absorb, as Dr. Gary sort of beautifully put it. Absorption and your bioavailability and what you actually get out of your food is so, so important. Well, if the nervous system is locked, then what happens is that you basically, and these handouts I'll make available, Dane, and then you can sort of make them available to everybody, okay? But this basically is a chart which shows how when there is a problem in any of the joints in the body, how the organs that it affects. So what you've got is you can have sort of a digestion problem because your T8 is not working properly. And if your T8 is not working properly, then you're not going to digest, no matter how good quality the food is or how good a probiotic you're taking or whatever digestive enzymes you're taking. Because again, there is a blockage, there is a kink in that electrical wire that is controlling your body's ability, your stomach's ability to digest and produce the digestive enzymes that it needs to. So by going to a chiropractor, yes, you're going to be cracked. But what you're going to be getting is you're going to be getting a body that is working much better. There was a recent study done on heart rate variability, and heart rate variability shows you whether your body is in a parasympathetic state or a sympathetic state. And a high sort of rate variability, heart rate variability, high figure is actually better, because what you're getting is you're getting sort of a much better parasympathetic system firing, whereas if your heart rate variability is low, then you're firing much more on a sympathetic system. So what you really want to do is you want to have a heart rate variability that's fairly high. And they found that after a chiropractic adjustment, there was a 6% improvement in heart rate variability. Now, 6% is really good. You will not get that sort of through other means of changing heart rate variability, like exercise, for example, going into zone 2. So there is a massive improvement in your energetic field through having a chiropractic crack. So hopefully what you've got from this short presentation is the understanding that chiropractors, we're not just cracking bones. We're actually doing much, much more than that. We're actually getting your body's energetic flow, your body's electrical flow to move better for you. And by moving better for you, your body's going to function better. And that's what we all want. And that's what all you wonderful, wonderful healers and therapists are all trying to do. Is we're just trying to get the person just to be able to live their lives in a much better way and to be able to do the things that they want to do. And there'll be some question and answer session at the end of it. So hopefully we'll talk a little bit more about sort of a chiropractic, and hopefully I'll be able to impress on you that it isn't just about cracking bones. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I had the wonderful experience and pleasure to actually go and meet Dr. Surinder and have a session. I left feeling like £1 million. It was absolutely amazing. Now I want to introduce Lisa. Lisa runs a company called The Art of Healing and brings a wealth of knowledge over 20 years in wellness and energy. And Lisa will show you the science of the soul, the art of healing, and the path to light. I will bring Lisa on now.
Hi everyone, I am Lisa and I am from Lisa J Healing, and which has recently evolved into the Art of Healing. I'm a master Reiki teacher. I'm a ritual master, healer, Kabbalist and life activation practitioner in the lineage of King Solomon within Bodhi Mystery School. Like I said, Reiki master, holistic wellness specialist with over 25 years of experience supporting people through body work, energy work and real life transformation. And I'm going to give you something very simple today. 2 options. Either you spend your time chasing symptoms, you address the physical issues, you do the plan, you tick the boxes, maybe you feel better for a while, and then the treatment plan ends, and you're left thinking, why do I still feel rubbish? Why am I back here again? Why does it feel like I'm always managing, never truly changing? Because symptom management can become a loop. Not because it's pointless, the body matters, of course it does. But if we only work on the surface layer, we keep treating the consequences without changing the baseline. Or you choose the path of progression. And the difference is simple. The path of progression puts you firmly in charge, not in a hustle harder kind of way, not in a fix yourself way, in a sovereign way. Because your growth and your wellness become directly linked to the work. Not how hard you work, not how much you push, not how many routines you force yourself to do, but the great work. The great work is the work that defines you. It's the work that changes what you can hold. It increases your capacity. So you're not just surviving life, you're becoming someone who can receive more life. And I want to say this clearly because energetic wellness gets misunderstood. It's not fluffy, it's the engine. Energetic wellness is your internal power supply, your capacity to cope, to recover, to stay clear, to stay steady, to not be knocked sideways every time life does what life does. When your system is overloaded, even good habits don't land. Even good treatment plans don't last as long as they should, because the body can only heal properly when it feels safe enough to heal. So energetic wellness is really a conversation about access to your life force, access to clarity, access to stability, access to healing. And that's where I bring in light. Not light as a cute concept, light as the source of all, the intelligence behind healing, the supply behind life force. The supply is not scarce, but our access is. And what changes access is our receptivity. If your nervous system is braced, your mind is noisy. If your emotions are carrying too much, if your field is cluttered with old stories, old pain, other people's energy, you can't receive as much of what is already available. So imagine it like a radio. The station is always broadcasting, but if you're full of static, you won't hear the music. Raising frequency isn't pretending you're fine. It's clearing the static so the signal comes through. And here's the part that brings it back to real life. Your frequency is not just something you do in meditation. Your frequency is your daily life. It's how you sleep, how you breathe, how you hydrate, how you move. It's your boundaries. It's who you let drain you. It's the inner tone you live in. It's whether you live in reaction or in intention. Every day, you're either lowering your signal with depletion or clearing the channel to receive more light. And this is why ancient lineage matters. Ancient lineage isn't random, it isn't guesswork. It brings knowledge and tools refined over time to do one thing extremely well: spark the alchemical change within you. Not just feel nice for an hour, not just cope a bit better for a week, but change your baseline, change how your nervous system holds life, change how you move through the world. That's alchemy, transformation through refinement. And the path I guide people through is simple and structured. We start with life activation. We then go to empower thyself and initiation, and then on to Healer's Academy. It's a progression that returns you to the real goal, and it's been this way for thousands of years. That goal is to know thyself, not as a slogan, as a lived state. A state where you're clearer, steadier, more resourced. You're no longer outsourcing your power, and I'm here to guide you through that. So here's the mic drop. 2 options. Either chase symptoms and hope the next plan fixes it, or choose progression and take the wheel. Not harder work, the great work. Ancient lineage tools spark alchemical change. But if you felt like you're doing everything right and still not getting the shift, it might not be that you need more effort. It might be that you need a different level of work. If you're done managing and ready to lean your own sovereign wellness, then I'm here to support you, and I look forward to working with you. Thank you very much.
Wow, that was powerful. Thank you, Lisa. I resonate with a lot of that, and I'm sure our audience did as well. So next is something slightly different. A good client and an amazing partner of mine, Radhika from the Healing Shakti, is going to give us a little talk and also take us on some breathwork techniques, which I've had the pleasure of experiencing firsthand. So I'll pass the floor to Radhika.
Thank you, Dane. Good evening, everyone. And it was amazing listening to all of the speakers. It is really inspiring. I'm Radhika, your corporate and holistic transformation coach, founder of the Healing Shakti and the 3-month transformation program, Flame Reignited. I'm qualified in a multitude of healing modalities from Ayurveda, yoga, meditation, many more. Combining that with my 20 years of corporate experience, I have firsthand lived what corporate burnout feels, what toxic relationships can do to you, causing stress and loss of identity. So what I do is not just business, it comes from a lived experience of passion. And I have seen what these modalities can do, transforming me from being in survival mode to being my unstoppable self. And today I'm going to share with you just one of those techniques that I use in my transformation program, which is breath work. Our breath, life force, is the most powerful tools that we have. Yet it is the least used tool. Do you know we only use 30% of our lung capacity, which means you aren't sending enough oxygen to your body, which means your brain and your nervous system isn't functioning to its optimum capacity. And therefore, we are always tuned to be in the fight or flight mode. Breathwork's benefits are multifold, from calming your nervous system to reconnecting to yourself to shifting your energetic state. I'm sure all of this information is something that you can Google and find out. Now, why don't we do a practical test of this? So I'd like for you to just observe the state of your mind and think about the day without analyzing too much. I want you to rate how calm you were today, from 1 being the least and 10 being very calm. So the lower the number, lower your calmness, higher the number, higher your calmness. Just quickly, whichever number resonates, give that rating right now. Once you've done that, take a second to do that. I hope you all now have a number on how calm your state of mind was today. So I'm going to take you through a breathwork sequence. Before we go into that and you close your eyes and follow my instruction, we're going to do two things. There is going to be, of course, breathing in and out, which is what breathwork is all about. We will be varying our breathing from breathing probably slower to faster, deeper. Okay, so just follow my instructions and follow my rhythm. Towards the end of that sequence, we will do a technique called humming bee. Okay, so wherein we are placing our index finger on our ears if that feels comfortable to you. If not, you can just make the humming bee noise. So you breathe in, and when you breathe out, you make a humming noise. Okay, so when I say through this flow that we're going to go through, now placing your fingers in your index finger on your ears, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, everybody with me? Good. So closing your eyes, if that feels comfortable, sitting straight with your back straight, like there is a little string pulling you. Gently closing your eyes, bringing your hand to the chest and one hand on the belly. So one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly. Close your eyes, just bringing your awareness to your breath, your normal breathing rhythm. Breathe in and breathe out through your mouth. Just let go. Breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. 1, 2. Breathe out. 1, 2. Breathe in. 1, 2. Breathe out. 1, 2. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now bringing your index finger to your ears, keeping your eyes closed. Breathe in. Breathe out with the humming noise. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Keeping your eyes closed, just relaxing your hand. Gently observe those sensations in your body. Feeling the tingling, possibly in your palms, maybe in your face, to your chest. Just observe. rubbing your palms together. Placing them on your eyes if that feels comfortable. Feel that energy gently bringing your palms through your face into prayer in your chest. And bringing your attention back to this room. Gently open your eyes. And now I'd like you to bring your attention to the state of your mind again and give it a rating between 1 to 10. How calm is your state of mind now? How is your energy now? From 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. I'm sure from the number that you started off with to now, it has shifted. That's what breath work can do to you. That was just 5 minutes. So breath work is a tool that you can carry with yourself anytime, shifting your energy from panic, from stress, from anxiety, with just focusing on your rhythmic breathing. So if you're ready to transform yourself, please book a 20-minute consultation with me so you can benefit from my 3-month transformation program, Flame Reignited. You can also book in a consultation with me if you want this breathwork workshop for your corporate teams. Thank you so much. All of my details are in the speaker handout that Dane will be sharing. Dane, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and thank you so much to all the presenters.
Radhika, thank you. I mean, this is not the first time I've experienced Radhika, and I highly urge people to check her out and give her a call. Next, I'd like to bring on Suki from Suki's Beauty. Suki has a wealth of knowledge in health and beauty, and is a microblading award winner, a skin specialist, an LED therapy, and much more. So I'll pass you on to Suki.
Okay, so yes, I am a skin specialist, but what I like to do with all my clients is I have a look at the inner health as well. So what I understand is your inner health depends very much on the treatments, how you receive the treatments, how you feel. You can have 2 clients having the exact same treatments, but the outcome will be very different. And so what I understand and what I like to do is look at the inner health as well. So inside your body, energy is produced in your cells. But every time your cells produce energy, they also create something called oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is completely normal, but if it builds up, it starts to damage cells. And that's where antioxidants come in. Antioxidants are your body's protection system. They neutralize oxidative stress and protect your cells so they can keep producing energy efficiently. Now, one of the key antioxidant groups we measure and scan are carotenoids. Carotenoids come from colorful fruits and vegetables, things like carrots, spinach, peppers, sweet potatoes. They sit in your tissues and act like a shield, protecting your cells from damage. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So I have in my clinic a Prism scanner, which is this little device here. That's what I use. Now it looks tiny, but what it does and what it can tell you is completely amazing. It's called the Prism IO scan. It uses safe, non-invasive light technology to measure the level of carotenoids in your tissue. Now, carotenoids naturally reflect light in a specific way, so the device can detect and quantify them. Because carotenoids are stored in the skin and reflect overall antioxidant levels in the body, they give us a very good indication of your antioxidative status. Why this matters for energy is because if your antioxidant levels are low, so that comes down to eating fresh vegetables, fruits. Obviously, we know some people will take supplements. We don't really know what our body is absorbing and how much of that we're retaining, and whether supplements are actually doing what they need to do. So this is where the device comes in, which is amazing, because and the oxidative stresses build up. What they do is, as they build up, the cells can become less efficient, producing energy. Their inflammation increases, recovery slows down, skin ages faster, fatigue becomes more common. So in simple terms, when you have a scan, if your protection system is low, your energy system struggles. So when we see a lower carotenoid or antioxidant score, it often tells us that the body will better benefit from better nutritional support, whether it's improved diet quality, lifestyle changes that reduce internal stress, alcohol, all that sort of thing. It all affects your antioxidant levels. So the way to look at it is, when antioxidant levels improve, cellular energy production becomes more efficient, which people often notice in better stamina, clearer thinking, stronger immunity, healthier skin tone, more stable energy throughout the day. So the scan isn't just measuring a number, it's actually measuring and letting you know what the inner cellular health is of your cells. And that's when we can see the difference it has on your outer as well, and your outer skin. So when I offer treatments, I could have two exact same customers who want the same treatment, but the results will be different, and that is down to their inner cellular health. So what this prism does is it gives us something measurable and tangible. Instead of guessing whether someone's nutrition is supporting them, we can see their antioxidant status in real time and track improvements over time. So what I do is, I'll do a scan, for example, we'll see the score. I talk through, we do a whole wellness consultation, talk them through the score, what we can do to improve their inner health. And then they come back after 2 months or a month and try and scan them again, and then that will show whether their cellular health levels have improved. So it's a great tracker, and it's a great way of knowing whether what you're eating is doing what it's meant to be doing, whether you're taking supplements, whether they're working. So it's fantastic, and that's when obviously it's not just about the treatments, but that also helps. So it's really, the way that I look at it is, when antioxidant protection improves, energy flows, not only do you feel better, you look better, and it improves any treatments that I offer as well. So yes, I will obviously, Dane will have some information on this as well, but I will, if I have time, I think I do, I can show you quickly the way it works. So
Plenty of time.
Is that okay? Yeah. So you place it. It'd have to be on a flat, and you can see on a flat surface usually, and you can see that that's shining. So you literally just put a finger on there, and it's 15 seconds. It's counting your antioxidant levels, your carotenoids, and then what happens is, once you're done, and you can see, there we go. So it's flashing on the green, which is good, because the orange yellow is where your carotenoids are at their lowest, and you want to be near the green blue colors. And like I say, it gives you results. So this here is an app, and there we go. And on there is the score. And then what you do is it gives you information. It's not going to do that now because I haven't gone into it, but you get all your information, recommendations, all that sort of stuff. So this is a fantastic tool, which I take with me to wellness events, and measure as many people as I can, just again to be able to finally be able to measure and give that proof of what your inner health is doing and how it's related to your energy levels, and how it works from the inside, what it does to your outside. So yeah, that's everything from me. Thank you, Dane. Thank you all the presenters. It's been amazing listening to you, and I can't wait to hear the rest of you.
Thank you so much, Suki. That was really informative. And like I said at the beginning, guys, on the top right-hand side, you'll see a paper icon. On that, there's handouts from ourselves in regards to every speaker and how to contact them. And also Regenify Health, our platform sponsors. And I think a couple of others have put some handouts there as well. Next, I would like to introduce Courtney. Courtney runs a company called Lotus Spirit. She's an amazing soul. She's a Reiki master, teacher, and extremely caring and intuitive member of Heart of Selfcare. So I'll pass the floor to Courtney.
Thanks for having me. Really good to be here. I'm going to be talking about everything Reiki energy related, I suppose, tonight. So for those of you that don't know, Reiki is a Japanese form of alternative medicine. In Japanese, Reiki translates to universal life force energy. It can be used alongside a treatment plan, say along with counselling, medication, those sorts of things. It's starting to be used a lot more in hospitals, hospices, with cancer patients and those sorts of things. So in terms of the Reiki energy, during a session, the Reiki healer will channel the universal life force energy through the crown of their head, down into their energy center, which is their tummy, charge it up there, and then release it from their hands onto the person that's receiving the Reiki energy. It's the main aim of Reiki is to balance and realign the chakras that we have in our body. So chakras are basically energy cogs. So we have 7 of those in our body. So we have one at the crown of our head, one our third eye, one in our throat, one in our heart, 2 in our tummy, so one just by our diaphragm, that's called the solar plexus, and then one below our belly button, which is the sacral chakra, and then one at the base of our spine, which is the root chakra. So day-to-day stresses can cause those chakras to be blocked, overactive, underactive, and basically just off balance. So the aim of Reiki is to realign those, balance those, and improve general well-being. Reiki heals on 4 levels, so physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and that links into symptoms that we may be feeling as well to indicate that our chakras might be blocked. So, for example, if we're experiencing physical symptoms like headaches and migraines, that could be a symbol that our third eye is blocked. If we're struggling to talk about our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, that could be more of an emotional symptom of our throat chakra being blocked. So during a session, the Reiki healer is scanning the body, connecting with the person's energy, and as I say, working on those chakras to bring them balanced and aligned. Reiki has so many benefits. I'll just list some of those for you. I did try and pop a handout up online, but it's a bit too big, so I will try again and get it up there for you. it's a really nice one that I've incorporated visuals from the Reiki Healing Association, so I'll try and do that afterward. But it can promote deep relaxation, helps relieve stress and anxiety, promotes pain relief, aids better sleep, energizes the whole body, supports the immune system, encourages inner peace, soothes the mind, and facilitates emotional release. And in terms of what the energy might feel like during a session, obviously everyone's experience is very different, and not one session will be the same as well, because the energy goes where it needs to go at that moment in time. But most people report feeling very light and calm. They might feel warmth from the Reiki healer's hands. They might see the colors of the chakras. They might see positive memories. Just sort of a general kind of feeling of grounding, coolness due to the cleansing and the protection of the energy. And just mainly just an overall relaxation. Some people do drift off as well. I do get some snoring, so I always take that as a compliment. But yeah, so as I say, I'll try and get that handout up. But if anyone does have any questions, I think my time's almost up, so please do pop them in the chat, or you can reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram afterwards. But yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you. That was very informative. And I think before we started, myself and Emma, before we started Heart of Self-Care, we weren't, well, I didn't experience much of this stuff. And now I'm so thankful that I have. I've experienced Reiki. I believe it's changed a lot for me, and I've experienced various energy healings that just have worked amazingly well. Next, I want to introduce Sarah. Sarah is amazing. I've been to see Sarah in Hemel, had a sound healing session with Sarah. She's known as a sound, energy, and laughter therapist. I will pass you on to Sarah.
Okay, spectacles on for this, I think. Well, I'll take them off for now. So hi everyone, I'm Sarah Jane. I am the founder of Content Healers. In 2012, I a little bit low here. I basically wanted to take my own life, and something truly magical happened to me, and I had an instant spiritual awakening. You can call it in different ways, and something basically coming to my life and catapulted me into what I do now. So it's been a really long journey, but I wouldn't change a thing. So I'm an energy and sound therapist. I have recently passed as a laughter therapist coach as well. I also have a wellness brand, and I hold retreats and do lots and lots of different things. But at the moment, I am knackered. I've been listening to everybody's things. I'm also perimenopausal, so my brain farts are just unbelievable at the moment. So yeah, everybody's all been absolutely amazing. I've been trying to take everything in, take a few notes and bits and bobs. But I'm going to do something a little bit different, because I think most people have covered a lot of the things that I would have spoke about. And seeing as I'm the last one, I'm going to do it a little bit different if it works. So let's see if this uploads. Okay. So when I speak about energetic well-being, I'm not talking about something abstract or mystical. I'm talking about how you feel in your body when you wake up in the morning. Whether you feel grounded or overwhelmed. Energetic well-being is the state of your internal balance. Whether your energy is flowing or whether it's heavy, scattered, or depleted. because everything is energy. You felt it. Walking into a room and sensing tension before anyone speaks. Feeling exhausted after certain conversations. Feeling your whole body soften when music moves through you. That's energy. The clients who come to me might say, my energy is blocked. I'm exhausted. I just feel stuck. I'm constantly overwhelmed. I don't feel like myself anymore. And often they look like they're coping. They're high functioning, responsible, holding everything together. But inside, their nervous system is in survival mode. They've been overgiving, overachieving, overriding their intuition, and slowly they've disconnected from their own signal. When clients arrive, I see it in their bodies: shallow breathing, tight shoulders, racing thoughts, a kind of quiet fatigue behind the eyes. But through energy and sound work, we create safety. Sound introduces vibrations that the body recognizes. The nervous system begins to regulate. The breath deepens and the shoulders drop. And then something beautiful happens. They remember. They remember what calm feels like. They remember what clarity feels like. They remember who they were before the world got so loud. And when they leave, they often say, I feel lighter. I can hear myself again. I feel like me. That's energetic well-being. It's not about fixing you. It's about clearing what was never yours. Because most people are not broken. They are overloaded. And when you remove the noise, when you regulate the nervous system, when you restore flow, you don't become someone new, you come home. And when a person comes home to themselves, they stop living in survival and start living in alignment. And that changes everything. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Sarah. That was amazing. And like I said, we experienced Sarah. It was in a lovely setting in Hemel Hempstead, and just wow, you do leave feeling like something has happened. Next, last but not least, I want to introduce Helen from Regenify Health. Helen is our platform sponsor. Helen's a great support. Helen's amazing. I'll pass you through to Helen.
Well done for organising, and thank you for all the other speakers. I've been quietly, I have had my camera off, but I have been quietly listening to everyone, and what a group it is. So what is Regenify Health? We use wellness technologies, and they're all inspired by nature. So that's what we do as a business, and that's sort of the the different modalities that we use. I'm actually a qualified nutritional therapist. I qualified last year, and I spent the last 5 years spending many hours working on that. But then I got to use a device called the Human Regenerator, and it's a wellness device. It's not medical, and what it does is it helps you to get more energy, which is mostly what we're focusing on tonight. More energy, less pain, and better mood. So I started to use that, and what we thought about with Regenify Health was really what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to achieve for people that they can use a bed, they can use this device, they lay on it for 30, 40 minutes, and they don't have to do anything. But ideally, by the end of it, after a few sessions, they start to have better energy, better mood, and then they start to make those changes in their life that they know they need to make. And so that might be seeing somebody else to do some other kind of work, somebody else to do nutrition, somebody else to do some of the Reiki work, something else, but just to basically get themselves into a position to do this. So we've recently taken on another piece of technology called Firefly, which we really haven't even posted about yet. It's really, really new for us. It's in America. They use it a lot with the Human Regenerator. And Firefly is all about delivering photons. So it's packets of photons, which is basically replicating the sun. And it's a light therapy, but this works on frequency on the body, so it works on energies. So it's working on putting the frequencies into the body where it's needed. So the Human Regenerator, I'm not going to show any photos because I've got some leaflets in there, and people can go and have a look at those. Look at Regenify Health, go and look on Instagram, because really you've got to see it in operation to sort of understand it. But you lay on the bed. So the Human Regenerator is more about grounding. When you lay on the device without it being switched on, you are grounded. When the device is switched on, it's surrounded in cold atmospheric plasma. Now, plasma is the most abundant supply of free electrons. So Suki was talking earlier about antioxidant foods that you eat, and that's a chemical breakdown, and they make electrons in the body, and they are obviously needed, and it's great to be able to measure those. What the bed actually provides is free electrons, which are slightly different in terms of the body can't store them. So the body can't store these, so they literally travel through the body, and they will be picked up by the energy level of the person laying on the bed. So they will actually they will focus on regenerating the cells in that area. So it works on the cellular voltage. We're all energy, as we've heard all night. We're all energy. And we all have a cellular membrane potential for every one of our cells, and they need to be at least minus 50 millivolts for our body to be in a natural healing position. So what the bed does over a period of time is bring up the voltage of those cells so that they become more coherent. They become coherent. The blood cells, they actually, I don't know if you've ever seen photos of grounding where you suddenly see clump blood beforehand, and then once the frequencies they've grounded, then those cells become sort of individual and they repel each other. So that's what the bed does. And then the Firefly, what we do is use that afterwards, because the Human Regenerator puts cellular energy in. We all need, as we all heard, we all need energy. So will put the cellular energy in, and then the Firefly will work on light frequencies going in. And what that will do even further is it will help with speeding up the blood flow and the lymphatic system to actually move the inflammation away from an area. And that allows it to become less irritated and for repair to happen. So that's what we do. We're very much into the technology side of it. We love everything else. I mean, I know a lot of the practitioners have already spoken today, and we've done sort of exchanges, and we've certainly, I've had Lakmi's actually done Reiki for me while I'm laying on the bed but not switched on, and I've had sound baths in the room. So we kind of try and combine it with all different kind of energies. It's also it does help. It also definitely works with acupuncture. Grounding and acupuncture work well. Acupuncture is, I believe, I might be wrong here, Caroline, putting the copper end in, putting the electrons into the area, into the cells. Well, what the bed does is these particles, these free electrons and anions go through the surface of the skin into the tissues, organ, muscles. So it's working, and it helps to get, if you're working on acupuncture afterwards, it helps with all of that. So it's really complementary to anything else that you do. So that's really me. it's definitely, you need to experience it to believe it. We have an open day. I haven't included that actually, but if you look up my social media, or I can put a link in, we have an open day on the 11th of March, which people are allowed to come along. They come along, experience the bed for 10 minutes. We're also going to be demonstrating Firefly for the first time. We've only just started working with a few clients, and we've been getting great results with that. And also, some people from 10 minutes get a real boost of energy just from that switching, being plugged in, and basically getting the voltage up within the body. And for some people, they respond super quickly. Especially, I had one Reiki master describe it as the most intense experience of his life after a session. So it's definitely something to be experienced. So thank you so much, Dane, for hosting us tonight and doing such a great job.
Thanks again, guys, for everyone that took part, for everyone involved. Thank you. So anyone that wants to get in touch with any practitioners, any partners you've heard today, please click the handout button and you'll be able to download the sheet of the people that spoke. I will provide a list on social media as well, and we'll also provide various snippets of this webinar again, so you can listen to it